Hey again, welcome back to my channel. My name's Allie. I'm so happy you're here. I thought, even though it is August, that it would be a great time to do the mid-year freakout, and I have all my notes, so let's get into it. The best book that I have read so far this year actually have been recent reads. It was 5-star. Actually, if I could give it 6 stars, I think I would. The Dream Hotel. This book was very, very, very uncomfortable to read, and I think that might be why it's one of my best books that I read this year. It kind of goes into how we're getting to be in society and how things are, technology is a massive part of our world, and I love technology. I am a big, big fan of technology, as I know everybody basically is at this point. But how scary can it get, and what is gonna go on with technology? And I don't know, it's an interesting read. It reminded me a lot of dystopians that I have read growing up in my life that have been brought up in pulp culture. So, oh, The Dream Hotel. Dream Hotel. Mwah! Chef's kiss. The second really, really, really good book that I read was Every Summer After. I read it in a day. I did not want it to end. I was super into it. The writing was easy. I mean, it was one of those books within the first page you're like, oh, this is like, I can vibe, I can flow, I can just like go through this, and I just thought it was great, and there's more after it, so obviously I cannot wait to read those. They honestly would have been read already if it wasn't for the fact that there's holds on it at my library, but I am in the queue. I'm gonna get it. Number 2, best sequel. Best sequel that I have read this year would have to be A Breath of Snow and Ashes by Diana Bolton. This is one of the books in the Outlander series, and I thought it was, as you progress in the series, it just gets better and better. There was a slow book, but this one was a really good one. I enjoyed it. I'm slowly making my way through the Outlander series. I have seen some of the show, but I stopped it when I was like, you know, what am I doing? I'm a reader. Why not just read it? Number 3, new release I have not read yet. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. I like Ali Hazelwood's writing. If you can get a theme here, I'm a romance girly. I can enjoy a good romance. That is like my kryptonite. I think it'll be good. I think all of her writing so far that I have read is really, really good, and I'm excited. Most anticipated that has not come out this year though is gonna be Brimstone by Kelly Hart. Ooh, okay, so she wrote Quicksilver. I remember starting it, and people were talking about it online, and I'm like, this does not look like, I didn't like the cover, and I judge books by their covers. I didn't like the cover, and I also was just kind of like, I'm not normally like a romantasy girl. I say this, but I'm a romantasy girl because the more and more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm enjoying it. I struggle with fantasy though in general, and so there has to be something that will keep me grinding to the finish line, and apparently romance is that. My biggest disappointment, I DNF'd this book, you guys. I was so bummed. I think I made it through the first chapter and I DNF'd it, so tell me if I need to try again. But that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Reading that first chapter felt like I was reading Daisy Jones and the Six. Reading A Great Big Beautiful Life, the very, very beginning felt like a copy, not a copy and paste, but it felt too similar. And I don't know, do I keep going? Do I put it back on my library holds? Should I try it again? I was so disappointed because Emily Henry isn't one of those authors for me that I'm like, yes. Another big disappointment is Magnolia Parks. That series, I let down. Big, big letdown for me. I did not like it. I read the first one. It ticked me off. The second one, because I had finished it and I was like, well, maybe the second one will be better. And I Oh, my AC just turned on. So if you hear the, that's the AC. It's hot in California. And then the third letdown, these are all hyped up books. Binding 13. I think that's the name of the series. I couldn't finish the series. Those were such letdowns. Just like, toodaloo. Bye. The biggest surprise this year and how scared of it I was, The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I was scared of this book. I knew that it was going to hit. I knew that it was going to be emotional. It's spoiler alert. You're going through a time in Joan Didion's life where she loses her husband, and it was abrupt, and grief is scary to read about, and I don't like to think about it, so it's hard for me to pick up books that revolve around grief, but I'm really glad that I read it, and I was so into it that I want to read the rest of Joan Didion's catalog. The way she wrote was very accessible but nice. Like, I liked I don't know, it's just, her writing's good. Just shock upon shock. Joan Didion's writing's good. I know. News alert. Newsflash. News alert. Everybody knows that. Whatever. Books that made me cry. I'm gonna like piggyback off of course, The Year of Magical Thinking made me cry. It obviously did. The book that I did not anticipate to make me cry was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. The ending made me cry. I don't want to give any spoilers away on that. Comment below if you want a review on that book, but it with spoilers, because I'll do it. But the ending made me cry. Like, the last chapter, I was reading it and my son was like running up to me and trying to figure out why Mama was crying. And Stephen King, you got me. Rude. The most beautiful book that I read this year has to be Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Fredrik Backman. Stunning covers. I think all of his books are really pretty. I'm actually currently reading one. But I think all of his books are really, really pretty. They do get me, like, the aesthetic looking at them. I'm like, ooh, okay. Books I plan on reading. What does Allie plan on reading next? I plan on reading what becomes available at my library. I have quite the holds list. I use the Libby app, and whatever pops up, I usually just take. The other book that I am currently reading, and this is going to be she's currently reading forever because it's a thick, thick boy. That is War and Peace by Tolstoy. I am not far. I'm still in part 1. I'm a slow reader, especially when it comes to literature. Fave reread? Are you kidding me? Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing. I read Fourth Wing. I read Iron Flame in preparation for Onyx Storm. I enjoyed it. I loved it. This world has me in a chokehold. I like her writing. Rebecca Yarros, girl, what do you put in your books? Because you got me, you got my mom, you got my dad. Chef's kiss. My update. Okay, so reading update, my plan. Okay, so this year I decided, planned, gold, whatever. I wanted to read 70 books this year. That is not unobtainable at all for me. I am currently sitting at 49 books. I don't anticipate struggling to meet that goal. However, it is a lower goal this year than last year. Last year I read 90 something books. And the reason why I lowered it this year is because I want to read less romance. I have great, popular, amazing literature on my shelves, and I want to give more books shots. I'm sort of bored of romance, and romance has always been that thing that, like, easy go to, I know I'm gonna enjoy it, and I read it, and I read those so quickly. So I decided to lower the number of books that I read this year just so that I can get books like this not off my shelf, but off my TBR. Okay, I did it. That was a lot, and I'm gonna have fun editing this. that was my mid-year freak out that you're getting in August. It's still summer, so hope you enjoyed it. This was fun to make. This took me a long time to just think and go through some of the books that I've read, and it definitely is pushing me to read less romance because I've been hitting it hard again. So reevaluate that goal, girl. Get back into focus. Thanks so much for joining me on this mid-year freak out book tag. I hope you enjoyed watching. Comment below your favorite book of the year so far this year and your least favorite and what your most anticipated book is. I'm so intrigued and maybe I'll add it to my library TBR. Anyways, thanks so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.